We celebrate Founders' Day on the 31st of January. Young John Bosco was born on 16th August 1815 in the small village townland of Castelnuovo di Asti in Piedmont, popularly called Castelnuovo di Don Bosco. While still a child, his father's death made him feel the sorrow of so many orphans for whom he would become a loving father. He found, however, in his mother Margarita an example of Christian life which made a deep impression on his soul. When he was 9 years old, he had a dream that was prophetic. He seemed to be in the middle of a crowd of children at play, some of whom were, however, cursing. Suddenly, the young John threw himself at these, cursing, hitting, and kicking them to make them be quiet. But a man appeared before him who said, "Do not hit them, but with kindness and love you must win over these as your friends. I shall give you a teacher under whose guidance you will be able to become wise, and without whom all wisdom will become nonsense." That person was Jesus, and the teacher, the Virgin Mary, under whose guidance he placed his whole life and whom he honored with the title of Mary Help of Christians. This led John to want to learn to be an acrobat, a magician, a singer, and a juggler, so as to be able to attract companions to him and to keep them far from sin. "Whenever they are with me," he used to say to his mother, "they never swore nor cursed." Wishing to become a priest and to dedicate himself entirely to the salvation of young people, he would work by day and spend the night at his books. Finally, at the age of 20, he was able to enter the seminary in Cherry and to be ordained a priest in Turin in 1841 at the age of 26. In those times, Turin was a chock-a-block with poor young people. These were either orphaned or abandoned, looking for work, and were exposed to many dangers of both body and soul. Don Bosco started to gather them together on Sundays, sometimes in a church, out on a grassy meadow, or yet again in a town square, to get them to play and to instruct them in the catechism. After 5 years of enormous difficulties, he managed to establish and open in the outlying suburb of Oldaco his first oratory. In it, the boys found food and a bed. They would study or learn a trade, but above all, they learned to love the Lord. Saint Dominic Savio was one of them. Don Bosco was loved no end by his little rascals, as he used to call them. Whenever anyone asked him the secret of such success, he would reply, "With kindness and love, I try to win over these of mine for the Lord." On them he spent what little money he had, his time, his most extraordinary talent, and his health. With them he became a saint. Furthermore, for them he founded the Salesian congregation, composed of priests and lay people who wished to continue his work, to which he gave as its principal objective to support and defend the authority of the Pope. Wishing to extend his apostolate also to young girls, he founded with Saint Maria Domenica Mazzarello, the FMA, the Congregation of the Daughters of Mary Help of Christians. The Salesians and the Daughters of Mary Help of Christians have spread throughout the entire world in the service of young people, of the poor and suffering, with schools of every type and level, technical and professional institutes, hospitals, dispensaries, oratories, and parishes. Don Bosco spent all his free time, some of which he snatched from sleep, writing and popularizing simple booklets of Christian teaching for ordinary people. As well as being a man of the greatest practical charity, he was among the greatest mystics. His entire work took its origin from an intimate union with God. From his youth, he grew in a faithful and filial abandonment to the plan which God had laid down for him, guided each step of the way by the Mother of God, who was his inspiration and guide during his entire working life. Don Bosco formed generations of saints because he reminded his young boys of the love of God. My dear boys, I love you with all my heart, and it is enough that you're young that I can love you so much. He loved in a manner that made each person feel special. Exhausted finally by unceasing work, he fell seriously ill. It was especially moving that many young men offered their own life to God in exchange for this. What I have done for the Lord. More could have been done. But my children will do that. Our congregation is guided by God and protected by Mary help of Christians. One of his last recommendations was, "Tell the boys I'm waiting for them in heaven." He died on 31st January 1888 in his meager room at Voldaco at the age of 72 years. On 1st April 1934, Pope Pius XI, who had the good fortune to know him personally, proclaimed him a saint.